And we are back here with another video today. Welcome to the Football Expert. My name is Reichel Ruby, and today we will be doing our 2026 Miami Hurricanes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach my goal, 6,500 subscribers by the end of June. We are well on our way there as we are slowly climbing up in the subscriber count. Now about, I believe, 100, less than 140 video. If you enjoy it, comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Sure you let me know right now before we even start the video. Let me know what your comments are. Let me know what your thoughts on Miami think the record will be, and then let's see what it is at the end of the video and compare the difference. So let's get into Miami today. So obviously a couple of things with the Miami team. Brought in Darian Mensah as the starting quarterback, the transfer from Duke, who was absolutely fantastic last year, had over a 66% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, about a little under 4,000 yards, and then had a great year at Tulane before that. So Darian Mensah, a very good quarterback, and I'll get more into him later. Mark Fletcher, still your running back, well over 1,000 yards last year from him. Tony in the wide receiver position, one of the most dynamic sophomore running or wide receivers in the country, and still a decent offensive line, but you did lose a lot of pieces this year. So I could see some losses there from Miami. So we'll see what happens there. The defense still has a lot of pieces, including the defensive line, but obviously the big loss from the defensive line as from last year, that's going to just be it's going to be a big loss there on the defensive line not to have the presence of, now I'm blanking on his name, but yeah. So let's get into today's video as we get into it. So yeah, first game is a road game against Stanford. Ruben Bain, that's who I was thinking. I was trying to remember his name. I'm like, I can't remember. Ruben Bain. But either way, first game, road game against Stanford. Interesting to see them playing a conference game, first game of the year. But yeah, Stanford, I think this should be a win. Stanford position. As a program overall, they have a lot of issues that they need to deal with. They lost to Miami 42-7 last year, went 4-8 overall, 3-5 in conference play. So not a bad conference play, but the losses to Hawaii was a bad loss, and then obviously had Notre Dame on the schedule. So your non-conference consisted of Hawaii, BYU, and Notre Dame. Didn't get a single non-conference, or I'm sorry, San Jose State. They did beat San Jose State by 1 point. So not a great non-conference schedule last year for Hawaii. Definitely a better one this year with them, as they'll play Hawaii again in week 0 and then play Miami on September 4th, a Friday night. So a very interesting game there, as they will have a lot better non-conference schedule with Hawaii and Elon. You still do have Notre Dame on the non-conference, but you do have an extra conference game. So I think Miami gets an easy win against Stanford. I just don't have time to go further into Stanford. If you want me to, I will have a Stanford video out a little bit later. Florida A&M is the next game. Easy win here. No issues. Miami will kill Florida A&M. Then a road game in week 3 against Wake Forest. I think that this is also a win. I think that Wake Forest is not a bad program. They have had a lot of moves since they had their old head coach left. So I am forgetting everybody's name today, but yeah, Jake Dickard, the head coach still at Wake Forest, now in his second year, I believe. And yeah, he is a very interesting head coach, and a guy that honestly I think has a lot of potential possibly at a place like Wake Forest. Was at Washington State before that. Veranda. So very, very interesting place to be in there, as you see for him. in his second season. But I think Miami should get an easy win here. Offensive firepower is a little too much for Wake Forest. Then a home game against Central Michigan. Another easy win here. This first 4 games, just easy. There's just no issues. Central Michigan, easy win. Not even the best MAC school. They are not the worst, but they're definitely not even the best. So I think an easy win there. Then a road game against the Clemson Tigers. And I think that this is an interesting one. I went a little bit back and forth, a little more than you would think on this game, because even though I think Miami has a lot more talent than Clemson does, Clemson is a sneaky team when you don't see them coming. When you're not preparing for them, Dabo Swinney is still a good head coach. Even though he has his own issues, he is still a good head coach. So I see a win here, but I see like a 7-point win, 3-point win with a 10-point win where they come away with a touchdown on the last possession to make it a 2-score game, where Miami just isn't prepared for this game, but still comes away with a win in Death Valley. If it's a night game, I'd be very interested to see how it goes. So I think that could also play a factor. Then a bye week and a home game against Florida State. I think that the bye week also helps with this game. So I have a win here against Florida State. I think that will be an easy win. And I think, honestly, Mike Norvell may be fired at this point. I don't think Florida State is going to have a good year. You can check out my Florida State video if you like to, but I do not think Florida State is going to have a good year. Then you have a home game against Pitt. If this game was on the road, I'd probably have Pitt winning this game. And before every Miami fan gets upset with me here, well, first of all, you're still winning this game. I think that with it being at home, it's a little more difficult for Pitt to get a win with Eli Heidenreich. Now your quarterback there for the Pitt Panthers. Still good defensively. Every year that you have Pat Narduzzi as your head coach, there's always going to be a good defensive line. But I think that it comes down to Pitt. I don't know if they have enough talent on the offensive end to keep up with such a dynamic offense that Miami is going to have this year with Mensah and Fletcher and Tony. I just don't see it there. So I think that this is a win here for the Hurricanes. Then you have a road game against North Carolina. I think that this is a win for the Hurricanes. I just don't think North Carolina is that good this year. I think they're actually overrated. I have North Carolina going 10-2. So I think that North Carolina is not a good team, and I think that this Miami team is 8-0 going into the road game against Notre Dame, where I think they find their first loss of the season. If you would like me to do a prediction on that video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It lets me know that you guys enjoy that type of content, and I'll have a prediction video the week of the Notre Dame Miami. I think that this is an easy here, or no, I'm sorry, not an easy win, an difficult win here for Notre Dame, but easy with it being at Notre Dame in the winter for a team that just is not used to coming that far north that late in the season. I think it definitely gives an advantage. First week of November, obviously so much tradition in this game. You had the 1988 game and all of the games between the 87 to 92. And even past, it's just such a great rivalry between Notre Dame and Miami. But I think right now I like CJ Carr and I like the home field advantage a little bit more with Notre Dame than I do with Miami. I also think that Notre Dame is going to be better in the trenches this year than they were in week 1 last year. And that was not as much of a disparity as it should have been, that had so much with it. Strength left tackle some points in that game, finally getting to Anthony Knapp, third string offensive guard out. And you just had so many issues there that game shouldn't have been as close as it was, but it ended up being that way because Miami was not able to hold on to that lead. They kind of took their foot off the pedal. This year, I think that Notre Dame is in a better position, and I think that I'm going to give the advantage to a home team in a game that I see is pretty 50-50. I could see either team winning this game. By no means do I think it's going to be a blowout. I could see either team winning this game. Then you have a home game against Duke. I think that this would be a very, very interesting game if Darian Minsa was going back. I think kind of in the same way that Ole Miss and LSU will be a very interesting game. Obviously, not the same degree because a quarterback leaving that's all year versus a head coach leaving that was there for the playoff run and everything that wasn't there for the playoff run, I should say. A little more the way Minsa left Duke, it was just not a good breakup situation. It was not healthy. But yeah, I think that this is a win for Duke, or a win. I'm sorry, a win against Duke for the Hurricanes. I think they get a bounce back game here, but I could see a slow start for Miami after such a big game like Notre Dame. So win there for the Hurricanes. Then a home game against Virginia Tech, and I have a win here for the Hokies. And you're probably looking at me and saying, rightly, how do you have Virginia Tech beating Miami? Well, any Miami fan should know when I pull up last year's schedule and we look at games like Louisville and like SMU on the road, we see games that it's like, Miami, what are we doing? Because Miami very well could have been the number one team in the country, if not the number two team going into the playoffs. And it's part of the reason why they went as far as they did is because they lost stupid games that I think made them actually were, because I think Notre Dame and Miami were actually two of the top teams in the entire country. Or top, like not number one and number two, but like two of the best teams in the country. And I think with Miami losing those two games, it made it look like they were a lot worse than they actually were. So I think that Louisville in that game and SMU in that game, I think they're going to have another screw up because Cristobal always does. If we go back to 2024 and look at that schedule, we see like at Georgia Tech or at Syracuse that got them out of the year before. Then we go back to 2023 and we see a worse season, 7-6 season. But we see a game like at North Carolina where it's like, why are you losing at North Carolina? So yeah, and then that you had a couple of games where you almost beat Florida State in 2023. So it's just a back and forth type of feel for this Miami team. Finally, a home easy win here there by the end of the season. I don't think he's a good coach at Boston College, and I just don't think that it's a good fit for him. So that's going to wrap up today's video. So I have Miami going 10-2 once again. I think that the Notre Dame game leans against them with being on the road and being in a tough environment. And then I think that the Virginia Tech game, I think that they'll screw up somewhere because Miami and Cristobal just has the past couple of years. So I just can't trust them to go undefeated or go 11-1 because they've proven to me the last 3 years that Cristobal is not capable of just going undefeated road to road and looking like a dominant team. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hit one the playlist of all of my college football predictions and hit the subscribe button up here. Help me reach my goal of 6,500 subscribers. And as always, have a great rest of your day. Bye.